Hi, I'm Rob Terry, and welcome to this video on relationship repair, a topic I'm deeply passionate about. Our program focuses about 50% on sexual compulsion recovery and about 50% on relationship repair. So this is a really important aspect of our program. In 2020, my sex addiction past had caught up with me, and I was about 7 months into a separation from my wife, a 25 plus year marriage with 5 kids. She was the love of my life and my best friend. I lost the respect of my children. Losing all that was devastating. I was shattered. I cried day after day, but I went to work on what I needed to do. I really transformed. I worked on my shame and attachment security. And as I did that work, I noticed that my tears and the pain that I was experiencing stopped being so much about myself and, oh, pity me, how bad is my life right now? This is so hard for me. And it moved more into for my wife and for my children, where it should have been placed. Then I had a dream. In this dream, I saw really clearly, really vividly, exactly how deeply I had hurt her. The devastation I felt after that dream was overwhelming. I couldn't get out of bed for a couple days. I just wanted to feel forgiven. But I knew it wasn't the right time to seek that from my wife. In therapy that week, we identified the part of myself that wasn't willing to allow myself to feel forgiven. We call that a manager or an inner critic voice. That part was telling me we needed to do more work. And that work was specifically to understand and empathize with the pain she and my children were experiencing. So I decided to commit myself to 6 months of work to deeply understand betrayal trauma. I dedicated every Saturday to read books, listen to podcasts, and meditate to develop compassion and empathy for her. These are some of the resources I found then. That experience really changed me. The rest of this video is a summary of the key lessons from that journey and from what I've learned since and what we teach in our 8-week intensive men's program. Humans are wired for attachment. We co-regulate with our partners. Betrayal feels like a life-threatening event to the subconscious brain. PTSD research shows betrayed wives experience symptoms worse than Vietnam War veterans: intrusive memories, sleep issues, eating extremes, sexual withdrawal or hypersexuality, anxiety, avoidance, and self-destructive behaviors. If you're the betrayer, you can help her heal. Studies show that when the betrayer takes accountability, listens, validates, and empathizes, her healing is easier. Even if the relationship isn't salvageable, helping her heal is the right thing to do. You caused the harm. You have the power to help repair it. If you're a good human being, you're going to do everything you can to help her heal. Your motivation might start as wanting to save the relationship, just like mine did, but at some point it needs to shift towards doing the work with the motivation of wanting to help her heal. Steps toward that repair. First is radical honesty. That starts with a full disclosure process, which we will guide you through if you haven't done that. You need to have clear agreements. You need to define relationship boundaries. What is your partner's stance on masturbation, for example? And then once you define those agreements, then we need a clear accountability and communication plan. Violations must be reported within 24 hours, for example. That's a good practice. Then we move into radical honesty, deep accountability, and empathy. Carol Jurgensen-Sheets' book, Help Her Heal, is a foundational part of our program. This book right here, highly recommend it. There's a few books that we really use in our program a lot, and that's the main one. Men who recover from sex and porn addiction become advocates for their partners. This work isn't just personal and individual, it's relational. This relational work is required not just to help your partner heal and to heal the relationship, but also vital to your abstaining from sexually compulsive behavior. Men in relationships won't recover from porn and sex addiction unless they develop empathy for the pain that is causing their partner. Omar Minwala describes integrity abuse disorder, which reframes sexual betrayal as abuse. And I agree. Infidelity is abuse. Even porn can be abusive in certain dynamics. This is hard for men to hear, but we need to talk about it. If you asked a woman whether she'd rather be hit or cheated on, many would choose the violence because sexual betrayal cuts deep. So if we take this a little further, imagine if domestic abusers went to a 12-step meeting and said something like, I'm 2 weeks sober from hitting my wife. That would sound absurd, right? And yet we've often softened how we treat sexual betrayal, and we refer very casually to our behavior and how it's affecting our partner. Research shows that narcissistic relational patterns like gaslighting, lying, blame shifting cause more pain than the sexual betrayal itself. Slips often happen in recovery. I know you don't want to hear that, but they often do. Infidelity slips, no, that doesn't need to happen. Porn and masturbation slips sometimes happen. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get a hold of our behaviors that we've used as coping mechanisms, especially if we've done it for decades. But there's no excuse for the narcissistic relationship behaviors like lying, defensiveness, blame shifting, gaslighting, and so on. That stops now, and the men that do my program are committed to stop that immediately. Relationship repair means recognizing that your wife's world feels out of control, and she may need some control in the recovery process. If she wants you to go to 12 steps, for example, you should go. If she wants you to go to a specific therapist, you should be open to that. If she's not ready for therapy, don't pressure her. We recommend couples counseling early. This is not traditional couples counseling. We're using the early recovery couples empathy model from Carol Sheets and infidelity recovery frameworks from the Gottmans, Terry Real, and others. But if she's not ready, don't pressure her. Your job is to show up consistently, take responsibility, and create safety. And as that happens, she will likely be more open to mutual healing. It's hard for us to hear when our partner is expressing their pain to us. This isn't unique to sex addiction. It's hard for anyone to sit with the hurt they've caused others. But we must learn to stand in the storm and respond with self-energy of curiosity and compassion. That comes from IFS. We use the AVR model, acknowledge, validate, reassure, and practice it repeatedly, both in individual therapy and group therapy. When she expresses her anger, that's a gift. It means she's still engaging you. We need to respond with empathy by acknowledging, validating, and reassuring. We really don't do very well with this work until we've done some significant shame work. And the game changer in the Karuna Healing Program is our IFS work. IFS is such a powerful tool in transforming and working with our shame instead of reacting from it. We identify 3 parts in the shame process. We have an inner child that's extra sensitive due to attachment insecurity. We have an inner critic voice that's amplifying that shame. She may say something at a level 5, but we feel it at a level 9. Our chest tightens, blood's pumping, shame kicks in. And then a third part, a protector firefighter part, we call it, jumps in to protect this overwhelmed inner child using tactics like defensiveness or stonewalling. IFS teaches us we can observe these parts with compassion. Instead of reacting, we learn to respond from self, the wise adult calm part of you. This allows you to stay present and meet her pain with empathy instead of defensiveness or avoidance. We use Gottman's relationship repair framework, atone, attune, attach. We develop communication skills, nonviolent communication, and emotion regulation. We integrate insights from the best relationship therapy models like Terry Real, Stan Tatkin, Sue Johnson. We work a lot on attachment security. You'll learn your attachment styles, and if you're avoidant, you'll learn to recognize and work with that avoidant part. If you're anxiously attached, you learn how to manage that part that has a tendency to be needy, clingy, or codependent. This is how you become a safe, stable, intimate partner. This is how you repair the relationship, not just by stopping sexual behaviors, but by transforming the way you show up in your marriage. Finally, I want to finish telling my story. I did the work to heal. She did the work to heal, and we reconciled, and it was a beautiful reconciliation story. Sharing 3 great years together. In our case, for a variety of reasons, she chose her best path was to leave the relationship. That doesn't mean the work was wasted. Some marriages heal fully, and we've seen it happen time and time again. But those who do the work, both the betrayed and the betrayer, end up stronger, healthier, and better equipped for deep, lasting connection. No matter the outcome, you'll never regret becoming the kind of person who can truly love and be loved. I love this work. Helping men restore their marriages, or at least repair the damage they've done, is one of my life's missions. Thanks for watching to the end of this video. If you're ready to do the work, we'd love to help you. Thanks.